I saw the news that the WNBA players had authorized a strike when necessary. So just to get you guys up to speed there, 93% of the players participated in the vote. So 93% of players in the WNBA. And how many is that? Could we do the math? I believe that there's 166 WNBA players times 0.93. Is that right? So 154 players voted and 3 players. So only 3 players voted no to the authorization of a strike, which means the rest of the players said, if things start getting crazy, go ahead, you guys. You guys can call a strike and we'll just see where things go.
That's not a random poll. That's the WNBA Players Association vote to authorize a strike.
They call me Logo Reese. Dang it. It's okay. I still go hard in the paint. Wide open, lady. Rebound. Y'all gonna pay us like y'all owe us. Y'all owe me 50 million. Oh, shit. 40. Uh-oh, rebound. I take 10 million. Thanks. I want that Kyrie money because I got Kyrie handles. The fuck? She hollow. I heard y'all talking about going on strike if y'all don't get more money. I mean, yeah, if they don't pay us, we sitting. What was the WNBA profit last year? 0? Exactly. Come on, girl. He ain't worth it. But that has nothing to do with it. How dare you? Hey, chill. Hey, Kate. Hey. It's just rude.
Y'all only play 40 games.
Grow up. Come here. Come here. Come here. Unbelievable. Unacceptable. I'm gonna call the league on you. What's up, Karen? I mean, Caitlin? You do know that if we were to sit out, you won't be reffing any games, so you'll be basically unemployed. I don't give a fuck. You feel good about yourself? Hey, I tell you what, you're the only one that could demand higher pay. But we want equal pay. But do you got equal profit? I'm gonna get you fired.
Meaning the players just gave themselves permission to shut the league down if negotiations collapse. No games, no playoffs, no momentum, just silence. 98% is also the kind of number that makes you think the league is united. But here's the part nobody can stop staring at. 3 players voted no. 3.
And that's why this year's CBA is so very important. But I do wonder, with these 3 players that voted against the strike, if I were to guess, I would say that these 3 players were probably players who aren't big time players. Because if a strike or a lockout happens, it's going to hurt those middle tier and lower tier players more than it's going to hurt any of the stars. And any of the players who already have deals to play in Unrivaled, already have deals to play in Project B.
And it's not just the no votes. Some players reportedly didn't vote at all. That matters, because when you're about to threaten a shutdown, every missing vote is a crack in the wall. So now the internet is asking the question that changes everything. Was Caitlin Clark one of them? I can't confirm who voted what. The vote is private. But the reason people think it could be her is the real story.
And it looked like Caitlin Clark is in some serious hot water with WNBA players over this alleged not voting for this strike. Now, we've been thoroughly tracking this whole situation with WNBA owners and the CBA negotiation. News has been coming out every single day for the last 72 hours depicting a strike and a lockout is coming near the future. Now, they had 48 hours still to come up with a decision. I believe today could be the day where we find out what ultimately is going to happen. But there was growing concerns about Caitlin Clark being the person that held out on the lockout.
Because while the league is talking about pulling the plug, Caitlin Clark is basically the only person on record saying, maybe we should not kill the season. Rewind to Team USA camp. Caitlin gets asked about what players want, and she says it plain. Yes, we need to fight for things we want, but ultimately we need to compromise. We need to compromise, and we need to play basketball. Compromise. Play basketball. Now, smash cut to the strike vote.
And many people believe one of the 3 players that said no was Caitlin Clark, due to what Caitlin Clark said when she got interviewed at Team USA camp, where she said, yes, we need to fight for things we want, but ultimately, we need to compromise. We need to compromise, and we need to play basketball. That is what Caitlin Clark said. We need to play in some damn games, and we need the 2026 WNBA season to happen. That is what the fans want. That is what the people want. And that is how we make the money. We need to be playing basketball.
98% say we're ready to stop playing. Now let's be clear. Strike authorization is not the same as a strike, not yet. It's the button under the glass. And once you point at that button, you don't just scare owners, you scare fans. Here's the twist that makes this whole story feel unreal. While this labor fight is happening, Caitlyn's name is still moving product in what should be the quietest part of the year. An $85 Caitlyn Clark card box, sold out at Target. Mainstream sports guys debating whether to even open the box, because a sealed box might end up worth more. Think about that. A WNBA product being treated like an investment. And the way this was packaged wasn't normal either. The collection is loaded with Caitlyn content. Tons of Clark cards, lifestyle shots, autographs, rare inserts. Basically, the superstar treatment you usually only see when a sport has a clear engine driving attention. During the off-season. So while players are threatening to cancel a season, the loudest mainstream buzz is still, Caitlyn Clark sold out again. And that's where the strike conversation gets uncomfortable, because it exposes a truth the league is scared of. Momentum is fragile, and right now, the momentum has a face. Even players are saying the quiet part out loud. One player basically said, if you argue the WNBA would be where it is right now without Caitlyn Clark, you're not paying attention. That's not a fan. That's a player. Now let's get specific, because the numbers are where this turns dangerous. According to the reporting around these talks, the league has floated major changes. Big salary jumps. Max salaries potentially going from around $250,000 to over $1.3 million. Average salaries potentially from around $120,000 to over $500,000. Minimum salaries potentially from around $66,000 to over $250,000 in year one. That is a massive move. But the union wants more. A bigger cut of revenue, bigger shares, stronger guarantees. And now it turns into a street fight. Because the owner's side reportedly said the union's public characterization of the proposal is dishonest. Owners calling players dishonest. Players threatening a strike. While the league is finally trending. That's not business as usual. That's a pressure cooker. And when a league is in a pressure cooker, you get two kinds of people. You get people who want to blow the lid off. And you get people who quietly think if we blow the lid off right now, we might never get it back on. That second type is why everyone keeps circling Caitlyn Clark. Not because anyone has proof she voted no, but because her public message is the opposite of a shutdown. Her message is compromise. Her message is play. And she understands leverage differently. Leverage isn't just votes. Leverage is attention. Leverage is who drives viewership. Leverage is who sells out products in December. Leverage is who keeps casual fans coming back. Because casual fans don't stick around during labor wars. They leave. And many never come back. That's not theory. That's history. Strikes in other leagues didn't just pause seasons. They broke habits. And the WNBA cannot afford to break the habit right now. It just got the habit. So here's the question no one wants to ask out loud. Does the union actually have more leverage than the owners? Because owners can wait. Many are billionaires. Many also own NBA teams. Many have funded this league through the years. Players can't wait the same way. This is their window. This is the first time the league has felt like it's about to go mainstream. Therefore, the strike threat is nuclear. But nuclear only works if the other side is terrified to lose what you're threatening. And the one thing the league cannot afford to lose is momentum. Now back to the 3 no votes. Even if Caitlyn wasn't one of them, the reason people believe she could be is simple. She already said the thing everyone else refuses to say. Compromise. Play basketball. Keep the machine running. Because if the machine stops, the next TV deal doesn't get stronger. Sponsors don't increase spend. New fans don't deepen their loyalty. And the union could win a negotiation while losing the audience. The next big date being talked about is January 9th. Less than 3 weeks can decide the next 3 years. That date isn't just a calendar item, it's a test. A test of whether the WNBA values its future more than its pride. So here's what I'm watching. If the strike headline stays alive, fans hear uncertainty. If the owners keep calling the union dishonest, fans hear war. And if Caitlyn stays silent, people keep projecting their own story onto her. which means the tension is not going down, it's going up. One side is going to blink, and when they do, we'll find out who actually understood what was at stake. If you're still watching, drop Jan 9 in the comments.
And it looked like Caitlin Clark is in some serious hot water with WNBA players over this alleged not voting for this strike. Guys, for this one here, now we know Caitlin Clark is a big advocate for the WNBA. Sophie Cunningham just came on record that she's not doing the Project B. She has not done Unrivaled. She is a strong supporter of the WNBA as a whole, so we all know that.
They held an emergency Team USA meeting over Caitlin Clark. And the wild part is, it was not on the schedule. No big announcement, no cameras rolling up to catch a quote. Just a closed-door moment inside camp that made everyone in that gym feel the pressure shift in real time. Because when you put Caitlin in the driver's seat, the whole system bends. And when the system bends, someone always feels like they're being pushed out.
So we'll start with Caitlin. Obviously, she suffered a lot of just a bevy of injuries in her sophomore season, played her last game on July 15th, even before All-Star weekend. This was her first real 5-on-5 action since that injury with the fever, and it was a combination of like USA players going against USA players and then also USA players going against the scout team, which was just like players from small colleges all across North Carolina sort of helping out with that scout team practice. And, you know, she looked like Caitlin, right? Like the step back three was there, the passes were there.
So what happened on day 3 that made staff step away from the court? And why did Paige Bueckers quietly refuse to accept a nice bench role? By the end of this, you'll understand why this was never about minutes. It was about identity. Day 3 was supposed to be routine. A light run, film review, a controlled segment where everything feels normal and safe. But that plan died the second the rotation sheet changed. It starts quietly. Caitlin Clark gets penciled in as the projected starter for the next controlled run. No press release, no hype. Just a clipboard move that tells every elite player in the room, this is the direction we're testing. And the second Caitlin steps onto the floor with the first unit, the gym changes temperature. The ball moves faster. The spacing widens. Decisions look sharper. Not because she's yelling, not because she's demanding the spotlight, but because she plays like the game is on a timer and everyone else is a second late. She calls the set, reads the defense before it forms, hits the open shooter before the help can arrive. And when the defense finally overreacts, she takes the shot that makes you feel helpless. That's the moment that makes people stop talking. The step back, the deep one, the logo range swish. No celebration, no stare down, just business. And you'd think a gym full of stars would clap for that. But the bench doesn't erupt, it tightens, because that one shot confirms something a lot of people weren't ready to accept. This offense can run through Caitlin Clark. And once that idea enters the room, you cannot put it back in the box. That's where the whisper phase starts. Not trash talk, attention. Quiet conversations between drills that sound like normal basketball talk, but aren't. Who closes games? Who adjusts? Who sacrifices? Because Team USA isn't just a roster. It's a hierarchy, it's politics, it's tradition. And Caitlin's style doesn't politely fit into tradition. It forces a choice. Then you see Paige. She's not loud about it. She's not putting on a show. She's standing near the sideline, arms folded, locked in, focused, still. The kind of body language that says, I see what's happening. And in a gym like this, nothing is small. Paige checks in during the next segment. But here's the detail that matters. She doesn't check in with the starters. It's subtle, but the message is loud. If Caitlin's taking the steering wheel with the first unit, where does that leave everyone else who expects to lead? Paige plays hard, efficient, professional. But something's off. The flow isn't the same. And that's not an insult. That's the point. Some players elevate a system by blending in. Caitlin elevates a system by warping it. And when the system warps, you either adapt or you feel exposed. After the drill, Paige heads straight to the bench. No extra shots, no extra reps, just stillness. That stillness is louder than a tantrum. Because it's not emotion, it's a decision being processed. And right after that, the coaching staff steps away. Not in front of everyone, not with a dramatic announcement, just away. And that's when it happens. An emergency meeting is called. Not with the players first, staff first. Assistants, coordinators, USA officials. And the topic isn't performance, it's fallout. Because Caitlin Clark isn't just playing well, she's reshaping the hierarchy. Inside that room, the concern isn't, is she good enough? The concern is, how do we manage elite talent when one player naturally bends the system around her? Because Caitlin doesn't demand touches, she creates outcomes. And outcomes rearrange power without asking for permission. This is the part that people get wrong online. They think it's ego, they think it's jealousy, but the real fight is identity. When you've been a star your whole life, your role is not just minutes. Your role is status, it's purpose. It's how you see yourself. So when the room starts treating Caitlin like the engine, even if no one says it out loud, the air changes. And that's why Paige's refusal matters, not because she's storming out. The word quit never gets said out loud. But the possibility of stepping away from a role that doesn't fit hangs in the air. Because nobody with Paige's talent wants to be a symbol. They want to be a weapon. Now here's what makes Caitlin different in this moment. She doesn't react, she keeps shooting. Same rhythm, same calm face. She doesn't look around to see who's watching. Because to her, it's not personal, it's basketball. And publicly, that's exactly how she talks about it. She said she's experienced both sides of USA basketball, making teams and being cut from teams, and that wearing USA across your chest is the biggest honor you can have. That kind of mindset is dangerous in a room full of emotion, because it's not fueled by revenge. It's fueled by work. Then the coaches return. Practice resumes. But the mood has shifted. Every possession feels like a test. Every pass feels evaluated. And Caitlin leads another run. The offense flows. Cuts are sharper. Shots come easier. It's undeniable. Paige watches, not resentful, aware, because this is the crossroads every elite team faces. Who adapts and how? And here comes the climax. Players feel the delay. They know something happened. Paige finally stands and speaks with a coach. Low voice, calm tone. No cameras close enough to hear it. But the body language says enough. This isn't anger, it's clarity. She doesn't want a reduced role. She doesn't want symbolism. She wants purpose. And that creates friction without a single shout. Not yelling, not threats. Just a line being drawn internally. After practice ends, something else happens that never happens. Players get dismissed early. Phones light up instantly. Messages fly. Speculation spreads. And inside the facility, the meeting continues longer. And by the end of the night, nothing is announced. No statements, no confirmations. But the emergency meeting happened. The rotations changed. And the tension is real. Because Team USA didn't just gain a starter. They triggered a reckoning. So the question now isn't whether Caitlin Clark belongs. It's how everyone else chooses to respond. Because when one player elevates the room this fast, someone always feels the ground move. If you're still watching, comment emergency meeting.
What's going on, my Flappy family? It's your boy Izzy. Welcome if you're new. So we have this reporter that goes by the name of Sabrina that dropped the behind the scenes information about Caitlin Clark at this USA basketball training camp. And the way that she's talking, Caitlin Clark made this team, fam. She made this team the way that she's talking.
Final day at Team USA camp. Caitlin Clark cranked the pace up so fast the gym could not breathe. The passes were knives, the step-back threes were back, and every drill started orbiting her. And somehow, Angel Reese ended up on the outside looking in.
Hate to break it to you, Angel. Nobody was watching the videos anymore. And I was like, nah, that's not what I do, is make videos on people that, on players that people don't want to consume. But here we are. We're gonna do this because I think it's important. I think there was an opportunity, huge opportunity, missed right here by one Angel Reese. Simple. Could have squashed a lot of things, a lot of narratives.
So So what did Sabrina see inside that gym? And why did one quiet exit stop everyone cold? Here is the final day. This story starts with one behind-the-scenes report. A reporter named Sabrina said she was inside the USA basketball training camp, and the way she described it, Caitlin did not just participate. She controlled the rhythm of everything, not with speeches, with the ball. Sabrina said the training was a mix of Team USA players going against each other, and also Team USA players going against a scout team. And that scout team was made up of players from smaller colleges in North Carolina who were brought in to help simulate competition. And in the middle of all that, Caitlin looked like Caitlin. Sabrina pointed out the step-back three was there, the passes were there, the pace was there. Even in drills, she was pulling defenders into impossible choices. Sabrina even noted that Caitlin was making these reads when she was not even paired with Aaliyah Boston.
So we'll start with Caitlin. Obviously, she suffered a lot of just a bevy of injuries in her sophomore season, played her last game on July 15th, even before All-Star Weekend. This was her first real 5-on-5 action since that injury with the fever, and it was a combination of like USA players going against USA players and then also USA players going against the scout team, which was just like players from small colleges all across North Carolina sort of helping out with that scout team practice. And, you know, she looked like Caitlin, right? Like the step back three was there, the passes were there.
That is important because it shows the skill is not just chemistry with one teammate, it is a habit. She sees the cut early, she throws the pass early, and she forces the receiver to be ready early. And that is why those passes can feel cruel in a camp setting. A normal pass lets you catch, gather, and decide. Caitlin's pass is a decision already made. Catch it and finish, or the defense closes and the moment is gone. Therefore, when someone brings the ball down, it is not a mistake in effort. It is proof the speed is different. Here's the first moment where the camp started to feel tense. Sabrina described how some players did not know what to do with Caitlin's passes. Not because they are not talented, but because the ball arrives earlier than your brain expects. There was one play where Caitlin zipped a pass into Derica Hamby, and Hamby brought the ball down instead of going straight up. In a normal offense, that is fine. But in Caitlin's offense, that split second can get you erased.
When she was not playing with Aaliyah Boston, some of the bigs didn't know what to do with her passes. Like there was one time where she passed it to Hamby and Hamby like brought the ball down. It's like, you can't do that. Like this is not, you have to keep it up, right?
Straight up, right.
Just like not expecting, you know, where that was coming. But FIBA, naturally, just a lot more physical than other levels of basketball, even more physical than the WNBA, which is, you know, something to be said considering all the conversations we had about that level of physicality during this 2025 season. So having to see Caitlin like go at scouting players who were, you know, instructed to play at a FIBA level of physicality was interesting considering how long she's been out and the fact that she's still ramping up injury-wise, but she looked good. She was just like so happy to be there.
Therefore, it was not just a highlight, it was a warning. Caitlin was operating at a speed that even pros had to adjust to. Now add the next layer. Sabrina also mentioned the scout team was instructed to play with more physicality. Real bumps, real grabs. The kind of contact that forces you to make decisions faster. But Caitlin stayed engaged. She kept pushing tempo. She kept attacking space. She kept throwing passes that forced everyone else to cut, catch, and finish on time. And once the speed limit changes, the room starts picking sides. Sabrina said Paige Buickers noticed it first. When Caitlin ran the offense, the pace shifted, the spacing tightened, the ball moved faster. Coaches leaned forward. Assistants started tracking who could keep up. But that same speed can also erase people. Sabrina said Angel Reese felt something different. Not anger at first, something worse, irrelevance. Angel was on the floor running the same drills and getting the same minutes, but the rhythm did not come back to her. The ball did not come back to her. The momentum flowed past her. And let's be fair to Angel. Her game is built on physicality, rebounding, effort, and pressure. She wins possessions the hard way, but a tempo-driven offense does not always reward the loudest contact. It rewards timing. It rewards reads. If you are half a second behind, it can feel like you are invisible, even when you are working. That is where Sabrina said the scrimmage changed everything. No cameras, no fans, just pride. And when it becomes pride, every missed rotation feels heavier. In that setting, Caitlyn's impact grows because she does not just score. She makes everybody else's job easier. She turns cuts into layups and spacing into clean threes. Therefore, the room starts to feel a new hierarchy forming in real time. Sabrina's description made it sound like Angel was not benched or punished. She was simply erased by tempo. Possession by possession, the flow moved away from her. Not because she cannot play, but because the game was being played at a speed that rewards different strengths. But the final day is where it went from uncomfortable to shocking. Sabrina said the last day of camp was quiet. Too quiet. The drills were sharp. The execution was ruthless. And in that atmosphere, Caitlyn looked like a veteran, calling actions, directing traffic, finishing plays. She did not need extra shots to feel important. She just needed the ball for 2 seconds to move the defense. Meanwhile, Sabrina said Angel barely touched the ball. Again, not by punishment, by reality. Therefore, when the final whistle blew, it felt like the decision was already made, even if nothing official was announced. And then came the part that made people freeze. According to this behind-the-scenes telling, Angel did not wait around for announcements. She did not wait for meetings. She stepped away, not storming, not shouting, just done. That is why it hit so hard, because in a gym full of top competitors, emotions usually show up as noise. This was the opposite, a quiet exit that felt louder than any argument. But the bigger point is not the exit. If Sabrina's report is even close to accurate, this camp showcased the future. Basketball built on pace, vision, and pressure that you cannot slow down without breaking your own offense. Therefore, this is the kind of moment the whole sports world reacts to. ESPN segments, debate shows, even Stephen A. Smith jumping on the idea that one player can change the temperature of a gym without saying a word. But Caitlyn does not have to talk. She did not demand respect. She played in a way that forces people to adjust to her, not the other way around. And if that is what she looks like in a controlled camp, imagine what happens when the real games start. If you want more stories like this, subscribe and stay locked in. So now the only question left is this. If camp already felt like it chose Caitlyn, what happens when Team USA has to make it official and live with the reaction? If you're still watching, drop final day in the comments.